I want to share with you this beautiful coral mushroom in the Ramaria genus. Now, there are a lot of different coral mushrooms, and they're very, very hard to identify to species, especially considering that we just don't know what to call all these different species. So a lot of these are like species groups or similar to, but in general, in North Carolina and the eastern United States, and actually I think, fairly broadly throughout North America, you have these sort of, tannish, slightly pink, slightly yellow-orange colored mushrooms that are terrestrial, meaning they grow on the ground, and they have a sort of fleshy fruiting body, these beautiful sort of branches that are quite consistent, and they arise from a single base, and then they are blunted at the tips. Now, this particular mushroom is very, very bitter, so I would not consider consuming it. There are a lot of Ramaria mushrooms or coral mushrooms that are quite popular worldwide as edibles, although a few of them, including one in Europe that looks quite like this species, can make you mildly but not dangerously sick. It's one of those like gastrointestinal distress, some time on the toilet you maybe could have spent doing something else, that sort of thing. But nonetheless, for me, I am not so much interested in collecting these for food as I am basically observing and enjoying them because they have just such a sort of elegant form. As they get older, this particular variety or species, which I'll get into in a minute for those of you who are interested in mycology words, but the ones that I find oftentimes sort of get this brownish, almost purple-brown staining as they get older and dry out. And, again, as you can see, it's sort of like a fleshy mushroom in the same way you would expect an oyster mushroom to be, perhaps, but a little bit less fibrous and a little bit more robust and firm. So maybe king oyster would be a better comparison. All right, let's do just a little bit of mycological qualification here. I would, in a very cautious sense, call this Ramaria myceliosa. That redirects on iNaturalist to Phaeoclavulina myceliosa, but it is a coral mushroom that looks very much like this and is reportedly bitter and with the blunt tips and this sort of browning or, starting to almost like stain a little bit. And then there's also Ramaria formosa, which is a large species group, most likely, but Ramaria formosa specifically is a European species, which is a very common refrain in mycology. It's like, well, the North American version looks like this, which looks like the one in Europe, but it's not the same thing genetically. Anyway, this is just one of my favorite mushrooms to find nonetheless, so I hope you spend some time admiring